right on time.
Yep.
It's that time, everybody. Look, we're almost on. There we are. Hi.
Hey! Woohoo! We made it.
Tuesday. It's Tuesday, and everybody's happy to be here. Except for Pam. Pam says she's tired, so she yawned. You don't pay any attention to her.
I just covered my mouth.
But that's all right. It is. I'm just happy to be here actually today. What is it? It is. It is.
It's time to go amok.
It is AMOK
It's
time.
time to go amok. I'm already amok, man.
It's Mo week.
It's Mo week.
So it's Mo week.
Certainly.
So let Mo take the first part of the show.
Oh, Larry, stop it. Yes, we are now. Yes, what?
Yeah. What? Go.
You interrupted me.
I didn't.
Okay, fine. Okay, we are now in spooky season.
It is.
Woo!
Officially began yesterday. Officially, but then again, it never ends. But it officially began yesterday. So what do I got going on? Nothing.
Spooky stuff.
Spooky
You got
stuff.
nothing.
I got nothing. No. Okay, St. Louis this weekend. Actually, yeah, this weekend. 9/5 through the 8th. We have the Paranormal Cirque. And on the 12th through the 15th, it is also going to be held in Independence, Missouri. So it's like a paranormal circus. Pretty crazy.
I still want to go. I have not been to one yet, but I have seen, like, we have it. It comes through here, and it's so big.
Yeah, it's they got the big top and just all sorts of crazy stuff going on. I think I went about 10 years ago. It was a lot of fun. So beyond that, Kansas City, Missouri, they have the Graveyard Shift Paranormal Halloween Party coming up. That's actually on October 26th. We have the Glore Psychiatric Museum. It has various ghost events, basically now through Halloween. Found something new. Didn't know about this one. 1859 Jail. That's what it's called. There's an investigation that is in Independence, Missouri. There's a couple of dates for it, but I believe the key one is October 31st.
Ooh.
We also have for events around here, we have you can always contact American Hauntings. They're located up in Alton, Illinois, and they have all sorts of stuff, so you can just check their website. It's like a never ending for them. Almost every day they have something going on. Another thing I found, which was really interesting, was a thing called Quentos. St. Louis Ghost Hunt. Apparently, this is a round the world type thing, but in St. Louis, they have an outdoor escape room, and it's a scavenger hunt searching for ghosts. It's kind of conducted via something called the Questo mobile app. I'm thinking it's kind of like, what's that thing, Pam? Nautica Radica or whatever it's called?
Oh, Randonautica.
I had it backwards, but anyway. A little dyslexic tonight, but that's okay. So yeah, that sounded kind of interesting, and they've got something going on apparently almost every night from now until after Halloween.
Wow.
There's a ghost hunt coming up in Potosi, Missouri, and it's
where?
Potosi, Missouri. It's about 90 miles south.
Potosi.
Potosi, yes, about 90 miles south of me here in St. Louis. Paranormal Task Force, they do have some openings for that
Ooh.
particular one, and that one's on September 27th. I've heard that an event called Crossing Realms Conference is going to be held in Richmond, Missouri on September 18th through the 20th. So I think that's in 2 weeks. It's from 7 p.m. until midnight. That one is sponsored by Blondes and Booze. If anybody's,
Lovely.
it is pretty
Lovely.
cool.
It is.
There's some pretty cool. There's some pretty cool people. I've met them. Friends of mine. St. Louis Renaissance Fair is going to be in Wentzville, Missouri, starting 9/13 and ends on October 26th. It's a weekend.
The St. Louis Ren Fair is in Wentzville.
It's in Wentzville. It's about 30 miles north of me, northwest of me.
So
yeah,
the St. Louis Ren Fair is not in St. Louis.
it is near. It is kind of near the border of the burbs. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
Is that a good way to say it?
Yeah.
But okay, but it's about 35 miles from downtown St. Louis,
Okay.
up around the St. Charles area. Pretty cool. I've been there a lot of times, but I haven't been there in a couple years. Another thing coming up. I lost it. Oh, Oz Fair. Oz Fair is coming up in West Plains, Missouri. It's a Renaissance Fair fundraiser to support Always a Future for Kids, which is a nonprofit organization. That is going to be on October the 11th and 12th, and I'm going to be there. I don't know if any. Yes, she was. Lynn Bird. That's not right. Dalen Bird.
Yes.
Dalen Bird. Yep. So that's coming up. I intend to be there. Possibly some of my co-hosts here might be there as well. Any other? You can contact any other major paranormal groups really in the St. Louis area for other investigation adventures coming up. Or you can go to Visit Mo Events, Missouri for other fun things to check out. So lots of stuff to do. So with
lots and lots of stuff to do.
Exactly.
That's the thing about it. Like you said, the spooky season, that's where all the teams, if you're into the paranormal stuff, really start to gear up. And local community really start to do that too. So pretty cool. We're entering the fun part of the year. So yay!
Yay!
Absolutely. My favorite part of the year. So that's all Mo has.
That's all Mo has.
Mo is done.
Okay. So our guest tonight is not the paranormal grab bag.
No.
Although he has been the paranormal grab bag, I think twice.
Twice.
Yes.
So that's okay. Mr. What's his name? Faust. Jason Faust. I know.
Jason.
So who's going to introduce this guy?
He is the founder of Heartland Paranormal, according to Facebook. How about that?
And he'll do it.
There you go.
Jason, apparently, the only other thing I know about him is apparently he got a new striped, cute kitten recently. And then he discovered it really farts bad.
Oh, no.
That was according to Facebook. So Facebook never lies.
Yeah, Facebook never lies.
So that's all I know about Jason. And we're going to find out more about the man, the myth, the legend right now.
Woo!
Oh, there he is.
Hi.
Bad choice in cats.
Yeah. I think I captioned that one could knock the buzzard off a shit wagon. So
All right.
I saw that. I'm like, I don't know much about you, Jason, but I thought that was pretty darn hilarious. So I had to throw it out there for you.
The first time we had to have you on, Shauna, don't die.
I'm trying not to.
Wait till after the show to die. Don't be rude.
Right.
You got it.
52 minutes. So hold it. Hold your breath.
The first time we had you on the show, you ended up bailing just before the show because we couldn't get it out figured out. Second time we had you on the show, you were working, and then everything went wonky. So we never figured
Wonky.
out. Wonky is the only way to put it. So I know you started talking, and we got on. We had to ad lib a whole bunch of stuff because you kept cutting out. It seems to be working good today. So let's start like we've never seen you, talked to you, or done anything. Who are you? What do you do? And why do you do it?
Adrian, you're cutting in and out
You
too.
are cutting it out.
I know. We were talking about it before the show, and I was joking. I said I never have any problems, and I saw me earlier eating a cookie, and the cookie stayed up there, and I was chewing. I said, "Uh oh."
Yeah.
Yep, you
So,
jinxed yourself.
Jason, take over since I'm going to have the problems and not you.
It's happened to me once a bunch of times. So,
Yeah.
um, who am I? Well, the
Yeah.
name's Rusty Shackelford. I no, anyway, but uh,
Oh,
no,
okay.
Jason. My name's Jason Faust. I am. It says I'm the founder of Heartland Paranormal. I actually am. I consider myself just kind of free agent. There's a couple people that I work with, but I really don't have a team per se. Um, and I consider my title more of a field researcher. I've grown away from the term paranormal investigator. Um, uh, Different reasons, whatever, but I I like researching. Um, how do you say, like, I want to find reasons explaining why we experience the phenomenon we experience, both
Okay.
for the like rational reasons. Like, I want to know the rational explanations and paranormal explanations. Like, I strongly believe that the paranormal exists. I just don't believe that we experience it as much as I think a lot of people would like to believe we experience it too, you know? I think there's more scientific explanations than there is paranormal experiences.
Well, it's not
Does
just
that
it.
make sense?
Yeah, totally makes sense. Uh, like my wife coined the term, and I love it. We're kind of a common sense paranormal team. So
Mhm.
whenever we run into anything, we don't jump automatically to paranormal. That's our last thing that we think of because we're trying to figure out. Okay, it could have been this. It could have been this. It could have been that. And we want everybody to throw in their opinion. What could this be? Because I might not be thinking exactly straight. So it's good to have that mindset because a lot of people first thing they do is jump to paranormal. Oh, this was that. No.
And I've worked with a lot of wonderful teams. I've been on location with a lot of wonderful teams. And I think I come across sometimes as cynical.
Mm,
Um, because you said I honestly, like, there's a lot of equipment that I absolutely despise. I choose not to use a lot of equipment. I think there's a lot of equipment that possibly has validity behind it to like capture phenomenon. Um, but like the SP7, SP11 and stuff like that, like, to me, like, having radio frequencies being cycled through, I think there's too much chance for false positives on stuff like that. Um, but like when you're on location and you've got something like you're doing like EVP sessions with like a REM pod in the background, and people are like, "Oh my god, that's a Class A EVP," and it's like, or not, like, you come back through it and you listen to it, like everybody else hears something different.
yeah.
And it's like
Not a class
that's
AVP if you have to try to figure out what it is.
right. And you've got
But
like 5 or 6 people hearing, each person hears something different. And it's like, that's not Class A, that's auditory pareidolia. Like, everybody has now heard something different, and you've all listened to it on noise canceling headphones, but you've all still heard something different that's knocked down the validity of that piece of evidence.
Yeah. No
So
longer.
which
It's not like I
which
said. It's not
means
class A.
right.
Class B,
which
class C.
means
There's all. Yeah.
which means it's not clear to begin with, which is a
Yeah.
Class A definition.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And to me, if you've got 3 and 4 and 5 people hearing something different, that starts becoming auditory pareidolia. And then it's time to move on, you know? Um, it's I'm one of those people that like, if you followed me for any amount of time, orbs, orbs drive me nuts. Um, I have not, completely discounted the fact that, like, spirit orbs could exist.
I have.
I'm always open to the possibilities. I just refuse to spend any more time on orbs because I spent an exorbitant amount of time, um, when I got into the field, before I got really active into the field, I was spending such an like obscene amount of time on orbs and recreating the variables, um, and recreating everything I could to get photos to say like this is science, this is not paranormal, this is science. That if you take this variable, this variable, this variable, then this variable, and then I take a picture with all the variables combined, it's gonna come out like this. That's not paranormal. That is science. I can tell you everything that isn't within that photo. Um, then you recreate that, that's obviously not a ghost. A ghost isn't going to jump on your command.
Yeah.
But if you're and a good example of that is right here in Lincoln, we have a wonderful cemetery, very historic. It's beautiful, has some nice mausoleums, a lot of beautiful above ground, stand up headstones. Um, and I have done numerous history walking tours. I will not do paranormal walking tours in there because personally I do not think that there's haunting within the cemetery, but I'll do history walking tours. And I was doing some history walking tours with a group of people through there, and these people came up and said, "Oh my God, look at the orbs I captured." And I was like, "I'm so sorry, but that's dust and moisture." And they're like, "Well, oh God, you're one of those naysayers." And I'm like, "No." I'm like, it's a very humid night. We have another event going through. There was like a fun run going through there. I said they're jogging through these roads and kicking up a lot of dust and whatever. And I explained to them what would cause that photo. I said, you're in a low lighting session, low lighted setting,
Yeah.
using your flash in an area that's in a humid setting, and I would explain this to them and stuff. And they were like, well, that doesn't mean nothing. I said, okay. So I pull out my camera. I said, here, look, I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to get the same results. And I did, and it came out the same results. And boy, did that piss them off. You know, well, because that meant that they didn't have no more ghosts.
Yeah.
These orbs now are just dust on their camera, and they're pissed. And so, but
Well, I had people
that's how
come.
I go about that.
I've had people. No, see, I'm a jerk because I've had people come to our events and they bring their uh, their framed pictures of orbs. I'm a believer, but I'm a skeptic, and that's orbs are actually why we started the team. Yeah, part of it because when I first this house is haunted. And first time I dealt with seeing a ghost and talked to my pastor and trying to figure all that stuff out. And I was like, okay, well, let's get a team in here. So I started looking for teams. And of course, there was a whole bunch of pagan based teams. I didn't care for that. But a lot of the evidence that they put up there were orbs. And I'm a photographer. I'm like, okay, this is just artifact. That's an artifact. And so I'd like, no, okay, I don't want these people in my house because they can't tell they're claiming that this naturally occurring thing is supernatural. I said it's not. So, but a good argument against now. I will tell you, I have visibly seen orbs in 3 investigations, but those visible orbs did not show on my camera. Not a single one of them. So there are orbs, but the one time I had a video camera going, and we seen all these orbs going past, and I could see the dust going past all these orbs going past, but not what I was actually seeing with my own eyes.
Right.
So orbs exist, but I think the photography version of an orb, you can't get me to believe it.
Well, and that's exactly why I say, like, I will not fully discount that spirit orbs exist. I just think that it's not worth spending the time on them as like
But if
captured
it's,
evidence to.
So I have to disagree with Adrian because I believe orbs can be captured on film. It's
I
just
never
you got to
seen
know
one.
what you're looking for. Like
Yeah,
I had one from Hinsdale House that shimmered and like vibrated like it was an I can't even
like
describe.
if it was alive.
Right. And it kind of came down right after some sound situated and the cameras were blinking on and off. And it came down from the second story. It kind of came down and then glided over in front of the camera. And if it done that, you can see a body and wings. Of course, it's a bug. But this did not have a body or wings. You couldn't explain what it was. And there was another situation where there was an orb caught on digital video, not digital video, just digital picture still frame. And it had like, it did not have a nucleus. It did not have anything. It was just like this light with like a tail, almost like a comet. It was kind of very, very interesting. And nobody could explain it. It did not have a body. It did not have wings. So things like that do exist, and you do have to analyze it very carefully because if you don't, then of course it's probably some bug or a bunch of dust that somebody popped up. But you also got to look at the different situations. If you're in the middle of talking to somebody and that and trying to get their answer, and then all of a sudden you have this ball of light with like a tail coming on, then to me, that was somebody trying to say, "Hey, I'm here." I mean, it's like strength. You have this big, huge guy being able to lift 100 pounds, and then you got this little bitty teeny guy trying to fart, and that's what an orb is. It's like a fart.
99 plus
fart
percent
orbs.
of orbs captures of photos of orbs. They're dust, bug,
Oh
mo-
yeah, they're
moisture,
Yeah,
dust.
or a
but there
artifact, like
is.
Adrian said.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. But there are. But I mean, I have seen some orbs. Craziest one I've seen. I have one photo that I truly believe is an orb. I actually saw it, captured it at the Lamp Mansion years and years ago. But I've actually seen an orb form out of nothing, and it was huge. It was about maybe over a foot in diameter, and sparks were flying off the edge of it. I'm like, what the hell is that? And then it
All lightning.
just probably okay, but inside of a building. But yeah, then it just disappeared. I'm like, whoa. So
We've seen things like that. We had one kind of form up out of the floor, and it actually brightened up the entire room, and
yeah,
then it
that's
went
what the
away. I know ball lightning will move and stuff like that and skitter across. So, but I have no way of explaining that. And there was 5 of us investigators who witnessed it, and
hmm
and of course no cameras were on it,
right.
but but
Same
we were
here.
like what the hell was that? So we can't explain that. But and I have to say it's paranormal because it ain't normally happen.
Yeah, and I'm not going to
So
say it was an orb, but it was an orb shape. You know, just a
yeah,
big ball, or I'm sorry, a flat
Yeah.
circle. So it was pretty interesting.
pretty wild.
We caught one
So
years ago. Actually, it was when our team first got together, and we were in a cemetery, just learning how to work with each other. And Wes was in front of us, and she was talking to this spirit that was there, and she had said something, and I said, "He's right beside you. You know, I can tell where he's at." And I shot a picture, and there is she just right beside her where I thought he was. There's a perfect huge orb, and that was the only one in that frame and the frames before and after. So I don't know. It was cool. I mean, we call it what it is. It's an orb. We don't know if it was really anything or not, but it's just really
Right.
showed up right where we thought it was.
Well, I got this picture series of pictures from the Clayton House here in Fort Smith, and uh, we're in the bedroom, which is one of these haunted bedrooms, right? With all the stories or whatever. And I'm standing there and I'm just asking questions like you do. And this first picture, I'm looking one direction, and there's an orb right in front of me. And then the next picture, I have my head turned it up because I'm just asking questions to nowhere, right? And then in that picture, the orb is still right, like in front of me. I could have said, I saw this spirit. It was there, and I saw it move over here, and I've got photographic evidence. I'm telling you, there are people in the paranormal community who had made a career out of those two pictures, and and it's just an artifact. So,
Yeah,
but anyhow,
and we couldn't disprove it. We couldn't say that it was not an artifact. So we
yeah.
kept it. We refer to it every once in a while. That it's kind of cool. We don't know what it is. But yeah, it was neat. It was cool.
Wow.
What is that?
That was that sounded demonic. It said, "I am an orb."
That was crazy.
What do
Oh
you?
man.
Whatever we
What that
thought
was.
it was a classic, looked like a classic orb. There was
Oh
nothing
yeah,
after it, but so we can't debunk it, but we kept it because it's a cool picture.
Yeah.
fun.
But besides orbs, what else you got on your plate? I think we beat that one to death.
Beat it to death.
That's right. Oh,
Um,
Sorry.
I've honestly, like, recently I've loved uh researching like the physiology. Human physiology has been fascinating me a lot. I love the psychology of stuff. Um for a long time it was fun taking um personal experiences on location and finding out how people like rationalize when they're afraid. Um
oh, okay.
I'm one of those people that, like, when you go on location, I'm very technical. I'm a wanderer too. A lot of people don't like investigating with me because the longest you're gonna get me to sit in one spot, on location, is probably at most like 20 minutes at a time.
Okay.
I chill in a room for about 20 minutes, maybe 30 if you're lucky, and then I'm up and I'm going to another room. I
Ah,
wander, I roam, I
same.
love doing that. I gotta experience the entire location in its entirety, probably 40, 50 times throughout the night. Um, but like Malvern Manor, which is in Malvern, Iowa, not far from us, uh, it's a location that I frequented. I couldn't even tell you how many times I've been there. I couldn't even tell you how many times I've spent the night. But there was a phenomenon that would happen a lot, and a lot of people would report this phenomenon. And so when you go upstairs in this house, and it's
Yep.
wasn't really a house, it was a kitchen voices.
I think it, Shauna. I think we can hear your TV.
It's not even loud.
It's
We
it's
Um. All right, pause it for a second.
Yeah, that was
All
okay.
it.
And
right.
it went away.
That was it.
All right.
here's some headphones.
All right.
I heard that out my door. I'm 6 hours away.
Can you pause
Oh
that,
Lord.
baby?
But
Thank you.
When you
Love
go
you.
up the stairs, Malvern managed a quick synopsis of this place. Uh, so many small towns in Iowa were like these railroad boom towns. They were expected to, when the railroad was being built, these towns were developed, and they had the intention of these towns to be as big as Des Moines, and they never
Is Des
grew
Moines big?
past. Des Moines is probably, well, okay, you being sarcastic. I'm like, I thought, okay, yeah, I'm kind of slow on the uptake there. But anyway, uh, a lot of these towns didn't grow past a few hundred people, and that's where they stayed. But there's still these small, anywhere from like 2 to 4 or 500 people, and Malvern is just that. And so this place was a boarding house
Oh,
for railroad workers, and then became kind of a hotel and a few other things in between. And then when the railroad moved on, yeah, it became a hotel. And then uh, early to mid 1900s, it became a home for um, uh, people with mental disabilities and whatnot, um, developmental disabilities, mental illnesses like schizophrenia, bipolar, and all those. And the lady who ran this place m- could have been like the next Mother Teresa. I guess she was just amazing woman. Um, and her and her husbands, she ended up having, I think, 3 husbands pass away in the process of like running this for all these years. And then when she couldn't run it anymore, she sold it off. The guy who was running it ran it without a license, ran it under like his wife's license or something, did a lot of illegal stuff, a lot of abuse allegations, ended up getting closed down. And it went into kind of disrepair, dilapidated, horrible, bad thing. And so Josh Hurd ended up scooping it up, finding out that there was major activity in this place, and opened it up as Malvern Manor, as this haunted location for people to come in and experience paranormal activity.
Of course.
And so a lot of this is people who lived in I would say like 80% of the activity that you experience in there are people who lived through the abuse years and passed on during the abuse years, who kind of ended up experiencing all that. Anyway, fast forward to kind of now today, where you can go in and experience this. When you go up the stairs, it'll split to 2 different hallways. And there was one hallway when you go up and you kind of turn left, and if you're standing in this hallway, it was said that there used to be these 2 guys that lived in rooms across the hallway from each other, and both of them had passed away, but you could hear them talking from each other's rooms. So you would hear one voice whisper from one room, and if you waited a few seconds, you'd hear the voice from across the hallway, answer back. You'd hear another whisper, and it always came at a different kind of decibel level, like different tone. So this would have been like my first maybe second time there. And this is how, like, I'm very adamant about claims like this. I'm very like, what's the word? I'm very anal retentive about figuring this shit out, right?
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm in this hallway, and I had a guy with me, and when I went into the hallway, first thing I did was I hear the whisper come from the room on my right side, and I'm like, damn, oh my god, there it is. So I waited a little bit. Couple seconds later, boom, here comes a whisper from my left side. I'm like, oh my god, this is cool, but that's too convenient.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I said to the guy that was with me, I said, I need you to stand right here in this hallway. And I said, so when you hear a whisper come from your right side, I need you to stomp your foot once. If you hear a whisper come from your left side, stomp your foot too quick twice.
Mm.
Okay, so I know which side it's coming from which. I said, okay. So I went into the room and I'm checking things out. I'm looking around and I go to the window, and that window is facing Main Street, which is the main highway, but it goes down Main Street. And so the main highway slows down to 25 miles an hour through town. And I look out the window and I see a car passing by. And as the car kind of is passing by this window, and mind you, we're on the second floor, here I hear him stomp his foot once. And I see it go by the side street where the other window faces, and I hear him stomp his foot twice. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this again. So I went to the other bedroom and I'm looking out and and at this point I'm thinking, how did nobody think to do this?
Yeah.
So I go to the other bedroom and the guy's standing in the hallway going, holy shit, I'm hearing the voices. I'm hearing whispers and I can almost hear the words. I'm like, no, you can't. And so I go to the other window to keep doing it. And as soon as it drives by the side street and the reverberation of the engine goes up the side street, he stomps his foot twice. And I'm like, we've recreated where these whispers are coming from,
Yeah.
you know? And so
Mm.
like that's how I am. I've got to figure that stuff up. Um Again, in that building is where my fascination with rationalization comes from. We experience certain things in that building where um people would be really scared something would happen, you experience a bang, and um people would rearrange the timeline to make themselves feel more comfortable, and you're like, you guys were down the hall and so was sitting in the chair and a bang happened before this, and then all of a sudden, no, that's not what happened. And they would change the timeline of what happened so it wasn't so scary to them. And
That's
it's
so funny.
so well, it happens way more common than you would like to believe because like
I,
go ahead.
I tell you a quick way to get over that. And one of the things that we learned at the beginning of the investigating is our whole team get together. Everybody's mic'd. If you don't have a recorder, you're not at the investigation. Everybody's mic'd, and at the beginning you go 3, 2, 1, start, and everybody starts at the exact same time. Your clock is set, your date is set. There's everybody. So, and when I listen to it, I don't just listen to my recorder. I listen to everybody's recorder because they may miss what I've got. And there's so many times that we've got, oh well, we got this great recording. It's an EVP. Said no, that was just red down the hall, and he was turned away from you. Tina sounded like a demon to one of my investigators because she was not whispering, but she was speaking low, and her back was turned. And these are great recorders, but they'll still distort. And yeah, it did sound demonic, and it was just Tina.
But
But
but Jace,
quality equipment and everybody having the equipment will make a huge difference in a lot of that
Yeah.
stuff.
Well,
yeah,
yeah. Go ahead, Ken.
I was going to say, Jason, but you've mentioned a couple great things. Those are some really good, both of you guys, some really good investigative techniques.
Mhm.
A good investigator, even though you're excited because you're looking for something, you've got to be able to debunk first.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've
Yeah.
got to prove it to yourself that it's nothing, that it's not paranormal. It's just something weird. You got ants in the wall, or you got cats scratching on the sidewall, or whatever the case might be. But if you can get rid of all of that, now you can really start focusing on what you're kind of interested in.
They
Well,
hadn't
and
spent time. Most the one that I think of is oh, I lost the name of it in Springfield. What was the name of that
Pythian?
place? Pythian Castle. Yeah,
Pythian.
we spent what was it, 30, 45 minutes trying to debunk something, and we did.
Yeah.
We ended up debunking it, but
Pain
yeah,
in the butt to do it, though, ain't it?
yeah, it is a
But
pain
that's
in
what it
the
is, a puzzle, right? So,
exactly, and you got to figure it out. And if you can't, if you can't figure it out, we knew we were on to something, but you know,
well,
we did
there's this
not.
there's this huge thing that like bothers me is that there's people who go into locations with this enormous amount of wishful thinking.
Yeah, yeah,
I
And
agree.
that bothers me because if I'm going to go into a place, I know I'm going to come across as being a cynical asshole because I'm one of those that like you got to go in with critical
Yeah.
thinking and deductive reasoning.
Hmm.
And I'm not going in as a non-believer. I like what you Adrian said earlier, a skeptic believer.
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have a level of
Absolutely.
skepticism
yep,
and be a critical thinker and be able to use deductive reasoning. Um, and it's Shauna, when I was on your show, whatever, a couple months ago or last winter,
Uh-huh.
whenever that was,
Uh-huh.
I told you about the squirrel in the wall, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Okay, so I'm gonna really quick share this story, and this is really funny because these people were convinced that they had a demon in this room of their house, but it was
Ah,
only the one room of their house. And
squirrels are
here
demonic.
in uh
Squirrels are
Girls
demonic.
are demonic.
he can be.
well, what was funny was, and I've dealt with the flies in the window a lot, way more than I ever thought I would in this field. But what's funny is it's dead animals. It's
Yeah,
always like
Yeah.
freaking dead animals. Um, but Hollywood has made you believe from the movie Amityville Horror that flies in your freaking window means you have demons.
yeah,
And it drives me nuts. And it's even people who are non-religious going, "Oh shit, we have demons."
that,
Like,
If you're non-religious, why is there a demon? Anyhow.
right, right. And
Yeah.
so I in Lincoln, it was like especially houses that are like 80, 90, 100 years old, and we have a lot of them. Construction in Lincoln, it was the plaster and lath was a popular construction design. And so between the plaster and lath and the outer sheeting of houses here in Lincoln, there's a good almost foot of space between the outer sheeting and the plaster and lath. And insulation is not that great. Older houses, so there's a lot of room for critters to get in and crawl around and whatnot. And I got called on this house and they said, "Can you come in and see what you can do? There's this god awful smell. It smells like death." And it did smell like death because it was death. Um, they said we have these flies in this window. We can kill all the flies. We can get clean up all the flies. We go back shortly after, and the flies are all back. It's got to be a demon. So I went to the
Freaking
house,
flies.
and yeah, and so I go to this house, right? And you know, I do it once around the house, and I said, "Okay, where's the demon room?" So it's right over here. And I look around the ventilation, I look around the other windows. Obviously you can't miss the window with all the flies, but I look for like drafts. I want to see if there's like small drafts that are causing like infrasound to come in, like slow drones that are making them uncomfortable and stuff like that. But I go to this window and I said, if I put it back as good, if not better than what it is, can I pop your framework apart on your window? Oh yeah, whatever you need to do. And so I get some of the framework popped apart, and sure as enough, there's a dead squirrel just on the inside of the framework of the window. And it's fairly fresh dead because I mean it's filled with maggots.
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And there's
That's
your
scarier
there's
than any freaking ghost.
right. And I'm like, there's your demon. Like I
Yeah.
cleaned it all up, brought in the shop bags, got it all cleaned up, sprayed some Febreze, and I was like, you know, blessed be, it's all gone,
You looked
like,
at you looked at them and you said, "This house is clean."
yeah, well, and
This
it
house
was
is
there's no
clean.
demon, it's this is and it's because I didn't go in there with the wishful thinking that I'm gonna run into a demon, and be the next Ed and Lorraine. God forbid I say that, but um, it was actually a fairly simple case,
Yeah.
you
See,
know.
I always go in with hopeful anticipation that I'm going to experience something.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
I don't let that overpower my common sense. I just
Right.
and so it I I take that back. One time I did, and I looked like an idiot, and I was like, okay, but that was early on, and I was like, okay, now I got a little more experience in me. But I go in there like I went to Waverly, I expected, because of all the talk about Waverly, I expected something to happen that at least leave me scratch my head. And I didn't even scratch my head. I'm not saying that it's not haunted. On that night in particular, the ghosts were somewhere. I think they were in Laughlin or something. They didn't.
They were
They
not
all
there.
got on the ghost bus and they went to Vegas. They were not there. Uh, yeah, but it's a really cool place. I'd go there any day just to walk through the building. It's really neat.
The
But
problem the problem with what you just said is that you went in with an expectation.
yeah.
Once
Yeah.
you expect anything, you've just narrowed your senses down to one.
Yeah.
Oh, no, no, not even,
Serious.
because I went in there fully expecting to, run into something and wanting to, but I was looking and I was paying attention like I do. Tina's the same way.
Well,
She's pretty you can't make Tina have a paranormal experience. You can't do it. These guys kept trying to do it, and she's like, "No," and she was explaining stuff around. "Sorry, I'm not a tourist."
But Adrian, there's a difference between expecting it and wanting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
true.
I mean, it'd be the holy grail to see like a full body apparition.
it
Everybody
Oh
is.
god,
wants
I've
to
seen
see
It
everybody
is.
wants to see that whole body apparition.
7. I've
Yep.
seen
Well,
7.
but the thing, okay, so but I bet you want to
Oh,
Wait, what?
you want to see
Yeah.
an eighth one, right?
I would. Yeah, I definitely,
Okay.
would dig on it. So,
But
but that's why
do
you
you
would
ever enter a location expecting to see an eighth one?
yeah, actually, I never expect
See, there you
to
go.
see
You want
anything,
to see
and
it,
I
but
do
there's
wanna
the
see it,
difference.
but
there's the difference,
because
right?
yeah, yeah, true.
But you can't go
Yeah.
into a place and expect anything because if you do, like I said, you've just limited your senses, and they could be beating the hell out of you, and you're expecting to
My
see
my
something,
my
Right.
right?
my skeptical nature,
Absolutely.
the only expectation I've got is most people are lying. Most people are misinterpreting what's happening around them. That's the expectation I've got. When I
See,
talk to clients,
There's such
they're
a
telling me stuff that's going on. Huh? I'm such a what?
there's such a fear of the unknown that's
Yeah,
if they don't have experience with it, like all
yeah.
of us at this point, we're all experienced investigators.
Jaded.
The normal, yeah. Well, if the normal person doesn't have that
Yeah.
experience, yeah, a lot of things are scary. I think that's where baseline readings come in real handy because
Yes.
usually about 85% of the time, if we're going to debunk it, it happens in that baseline reading, walking around the house. And then, there's another 15% or whatever that we get rid of the rest. It's usually that 1% of every once in a while, there might be something really interesting that happens. But yeah, we found a lot of gas leaks. We found a lot of doors that, Mark has gone through with screwdrivers and fixed doors for people and ticked a few people off when we got rid of their ghost by tightening
Oh, but
doors.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
because
well, it's
they were looking for this.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It was an Airbnb, so or it was not
Yep.
Airbnb. It was a bed and breakfast. Yeah.
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 so
Ah.
here's I had this wonderful opportunity to go on an investigation. In Omaha, we have Offutt Air Force Base,
Mm.
and they have the Martin Bomber plant, and it used to be called um, what was the Martin? It's Building D now, I believe. It used to be called the Martin Bomber plant. It was the hangar where
The
they built.
military is so good at naming buildings.
Right, right.
Right.
And this building was so big that the hallways had street signs. It was very easy to
Wow.
get lost in this building. It was like a city within a building. Um, and so I was invited to go on an investigation. Now we had military um hosts. Like there was people that were with us. It was a Halloween
Mhm.
event. It was being filmed for um something for the military things that was there. But anyway, with the Martin Bomber plant was where the Enola Gay was built. And
Oh,
now
Mhm.
with the Enola
Oh
Gay
yeah.
is the
Mhm.
plane that dropped the Hiroshima bomb.
Mm.
And they inside the Martin Bomber plant, they have a morgue. It's where they have the remains not only of just unnamed soldiers that they're trying to identify, but a lot of the remains from Pearl Harbor that they had recovered but have not have identified yet.
Oh wow.
And so now we
Wow.
did not get to go in there, but this morgue, this refrigeration unit, is a building within the building within kind of like this little city inside this building. Okay. And I wanted to go in, and it was completely like a no. Can't go in. But they said, We'll explain it to you." And my head is I was thinking, okay, like morgue, they have like the walls with the refrigeration units, and you roll out the body on the tray or whatever. They're like, "No, it's a grid in there. The entire room is the refrigeration unit, and the bodies are in this grid on the tables throughout the room. So like all the bodies were like basically exposed in this refrigeration unit. And on the back end of this little building was an just massive amount of electrical equipment that runs the refrigeration inside this
Mhm.
building.
Yeah.
And so as I'm questioning the military personnel, where does the weird feelings come from? Where does the paranormal happenings come from? They're like, "Oh, in
Right
this
there.
area over here." And I'm like,
Uh,
"Do you know why?" And they're like, "No, no, like nothing weird has
EMF.
ever happened over here." And I'm like, "Have you ever heard of EMF overexposure?" And they're like, "Well, like your little toys there?" And I'm like, "Uh-huh. See this thing? And if I hold it over here, it's only kind
uh,
of like going to yellow. But if I hold it over here, see how it stays on red? Yeah, this gives off electromagnetic field energy. And when you get too much of that, you feel weird." And
yeah.
they're like, "Yeah."
And you can die
Yeah. And I'm
And you
like,
can
"Well,
die. It's
with too
the
much.
more
Yeah.
you
it's
hang
it's
around."
radiation.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the more you hang out next to this refrigeration unit, next to all this equipment over here, you are getting EMF overload. And that
Yeah.
is why you feel weird. That's why your chest is queasy and, your
And you
tummy
have
turns and that.
and you have hallucinations.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
so,
but
like,
I will say that some of the places that I've been to that have been crazy haunted have had high EMF levels because of that. So the question is, how does EMF affect the paranormal realm? So I don't know. I don't know, but two of the crazy haunted places that we've been had
Super energized.
120 or higher milgauss running through the house.
I
Wow.
honestly believe that if it is higher EMF on location, it's easier for an energy to like or an entity to draw the energy off of whatever's producing that.
Mm-hmm.
it's almost
But
like
that
You
a
doesn't
know,
make
I
any
mean,
sense
flashlight.
It's
because
like
if they're a biological being, you can't sit there and go, "Man, I feel tired. I'm going to stick my fork in this plug over here so I can get some energy." So I don't understand that. As a medical person and as a skeptic, I don't agree with that. that doesn't
But
mean it's not right. But I think it. I
you
think
know
it.
the theory of if you're close to a body of water, or if you're close to like activity is heightened during a thunderstorm. I mean,
Yeah.
like how would a biological being like know to draw energy off of a thunderstorm or a river, or like, I mean, the stone tape theory, why would a residual energy know um that just because those rocks were cut by the river, that's like their own personal tape recorder? I mean, it's theories that there's a reason that they are theories. But do you get what I'm saying? I mean,
No, I do get what you're saying. And
it's
But
I
like
understand
battery
where
drainage
people.
spirits,
theory. The battery drainage theory. Why do a lot of times when our batteries drain when we're on location, and like the camera batteries drain really quick, or
Because it's
stuff
cold
like
outside.
that? True, but I honestly believe that they have to draw energy from somewhere,
mhm.
and if
They can
they
draw
need to,
energy from you because there is such a thing as a psychic vampire. I do believe
I
that
believe that.
they
Yeah.
can pull from you, and
Yeah.
that's dangerous. Get the hell out. Get your team
Okay,
out.
but I'm going to refute one thing you said, Adrian, and that is
What's that?
you were mentioning that spirits are biological beings. They're not biological; they're energy.
Well, at that point they are. Yeah,
But
but
so
but
why
uh,
can't energy? I mean, energy is, what's the word here? Attracted to other energies. So I can see where it could feed that energy, and it's only going to change. It's either going to get stronger or weaker or
yeah,
move
uh,
in the energy. So they're not biological beings.
it
Yeah.
they well.
They're
I see
not.
what you're saying. I
We
see
are
what,
biological
But
beings,
I
but
mean,
once
our
the shell is gone,
yeah,
yeah,
to
then
be
we're
to be
it's
energy.
honest.
just it's just
To be
energy.
honest, there's nobody can tell me what a ghost is.
It's energy. Oh,
But like
okay. I just
I
told you.
s- I see what Ken's saying though, but like once the organic matter has stopped,
Hmm.
then the biology is done.
What is
Right.
the energy? Yeah, well, what is the energy of a thought?
The
I mean,
energy of
they
a
say
thought.
they measure it. They measure it with electrical impulses. I get that, but it's not. Uh, it's a different kind of electricity. So I don't.
Well,
I don't know. It's. I don't know.
well, it is.
I've always wondered about that from the beginning. I still have, after 19 years of investigating, I still don't have an answer for that. And
What
that's what's cool about this field because that's going to leave people guessing because we're not going to know until we die, and then we'll
Yep.
go like, oh, oh, duh.
That's what
Then I'm gonna
happened.
well
I'm gonna
see, but
come
like
back and tell you.
but that's
No.
this is part of like what I love doing, because it's like okay, the devil's hour. I've spent a lot of time when on location observing people when and the devil's hour seems to be when teams like to take cat naps on location. They're like,
No.
oh, we're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna we're gonna take a cat nap now that it's 2-3 o'clock in the morning, because once the sun rises we all got to drive home, so we want to have a
Yeah.
little bit of sleep under our belt before we have to make a 3-hour drive home. So what I'll do is like I'll stay a little bit awake and just kind of observe people as they're kind of dozing off, because that little twilight mode that you are between awake and REM sleep,
Mhm.
that's a fun time. Plus, I like to jack with people when they're in that, like, eh, whatever. But uh, feathers and stuff in the ear is really awesome. But anyway, um, no, like it's amazing. And if you've ever studied like hypnagogic hallucinations, and that's when you're like, and Adrian, I'm sure you've heard that term, right?
Yes.
Yes. So they're tactile hallucinations when you are falling asleep. And what is the opposite is propnagogic, right? When you're waking up, is that
Yeah.
propnagogic
Something like that.
hallucinations? Yes.
I can't. Yeah.
So,
I cannot
but
remember.
if you are falling asleep and you are in that twilight zone where you can experience like the hypnic jerks, you have these hallucinations where you can hear your voice. You can hear being your voice being called. You can hear footsteps. You can, have that full body like jerk. Um,
What'd you call me?
a, a lot of people,
Full body.
yeah, and but like people experience this and then go like they'll wake up after having a tactile hallucination like this, and they'll wake up and they'll look at the clock and they're like, "Oh my god, it's the witching hour, or it's the devil's
Yeah,
hour. Look at the veil is so thin. I just heard my voice."
always
It's
cracks me up.
amazing. But
It was
it's
demonic
so
because it happened at 3 a.m.
yes, it's like
I
Yeah.
love how demons always pay attention to time zones and whether it's
right.
uh
Right.
daylight saving time or not.
But it's so funny because like I'm one of those that like one time experience like observing this isn't enough for me. I've done this a lot, a lot with a lot of different teams, a lot of different people, and like see what they do when they're taking their cat nap, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and
Um,
you just and what people experience when they don't take a cat nap and they start getting punchy, and they're really tired and they're trying to stay awake, but they're really getting punchy. So they start experience weird shit. It's like so
My
um
team is like, it's midnight, time to go home.
Same.
but like
wow.
that's what
Same.
I love doing and trying to um critically think and break down those kind of things. Now, I'm not saying that there's no validity behind the witching hour or whatever. I'm just saying these are my findings and why things possibly happen more during those hours for investigators alone. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that this only like has nothing to do with what happens in your house when you're not on
No, that you're
location,
super
you know?
tired. You've consumed 6 Red Bulls.
Right.
You're like, anyhow, yeah. Hey, we
Oh,
are at the end of the hour. This went pretty good.
went
I need you
fast.
now. I need you to kind of plug yourself. If people wanted to contact you, if they wanted to maybe invite you along on investigation because they need that skeptical thought, go.
You can find me on Facebook at Heartland Paranormal. Um, uh, you can email me at heartlandparanormal16 dot wait, heartlandparanormal16 at gmail.com.
There you go.
But like those are my two main things. If you find me on Facebook, I'm on Facebook Messenger. I answer to that too. So Uh, but yeah, I'm always open to questions and I get pictures and videos all the time to review and discuss. So I do that as well.
Excellent.
Can I can
Sweet.
I
Excellent.
can I interject what I learned tonight,
Yeah.
real quick?
One
What'd you
thing.
learn?
Real quick. Okay, I learned three things. I use an unscientific approach. Uh, I try to carry on conversations. But I don't, you know, I try to carry on the conversations with the spirits. The other number two, cemeteries. I agree, they are dead,
You're dead.
unless something extraordinary happened. Either dramatic or emotional type of thing that happened on the land itself. So that's number two.
You you
The
buried my dead body in that hole. That's
That's
why I'm
right.
here.
That's right. And I'm sad. That's okay. But the third thing that I really wanted to bring forth is that apparently I'm going to start bringing Febreze to use as my holy water.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that what you?
What?
That's what you use with the bugs, right? Or the
That's it.
flies.
The dead
Oh
squirrel. The
man.
dead
The
squirrel.
dead
Yeah.
Well,
squirrel.
see, there you go. So those are the three things I learned tonight. I wanted to let everybody know, world, in case you were wondering, I was paying
Thank you,
attention
Ken.
tonight.
All right,
Jason,
Jason, don't go
Jason, that's
anywhere.
pretty cool.
I'm
Good
gonna throw
stuff.
you in the back. We'll talk a little bit after the show, so don't go nowhere. All right.
Okay.
Good
Thanks.
stuff.
Thanks for coming on. All
Thanks.
right.
Yes, it's great.
Thank you guys.
Uh, Yay!
All right, what do we got? What do yay?
Really good.
We have Joe
What do we
De
got? What do we got
Hoyos,
next?
Beyond
Who's
the
that?
Woodline podcast. Next
On the
week.
wood line.
Yes.
Yes.
Is it like at
We
the
can
edge
get a
of
whipping?
Very
forest?
good. I've
Well, that's
actually
a-
watched a couple
no,
of
that's a-
episodes, and they
That's
were
a wood shed, right?
That's a wood shed, yeah.
All right.
So this
Okay.
is just
Gotcha.
inside the woods.
yeah,
Yes.
like a
So-
Bigfoot. A
Was
Bigfoot.
it
No,
it's a
something
movie?
like
You
that.
don't go in the woods. Yeah, the monsters are out there.
Oh,
What was that? I can't
That's
remember.
right. Bigfoot
Anyhow.
says. I like that.
Yeah.
Bigfoot says.
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot says. Excellent. We're going to talk about Bigfoot says next week.
Yeah.
Guys-
All right, now,
Yeah.
Guys,
no,
it was fun.
It was fun.
It was.
Now we got to find out if the end credits are going to actually have music. I don't have a.
Here we go.
I
Oh
don't-
boy.
I don't have
3, 2,
Jason, thank you
1.
so much for being here.
Bye.
It worked.